Hello everybody, how are you doing? It's Damon yet again with another video, and this time I decided I'm gonna do a humorous video about WrestleMania. Well, I'll talk about those special WrestleMania moment that you had basically over the course of a different edition of WrestleMania. Hogan body slamming the Giant, Under the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage winning the WWE title. With the very first WrestleMania, you had basically the Mega Powers explode, the Ultimate Warrior winning the WWE title. The Great Macho Man Liz reunion at WrestleMania 7. You have the Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania 8. You have Bret Hart finally be coronated as the true head of the company. Nothing like in '92 when he was just the face, just temporary. They felt like they solidified him as a face for WWE for long haul in at WrestleMania 8. The boyhood dream comes true for Shawn Michaels. Uh, You could have this. You could have Austin 316 being born at WrestleMania 14. How about Rock Hogan? I'm trying to find other. Uh, John Cena, Batista being coronated as champion. You have basically many of those moments. You have trying to find this. The I'm Sorry I Love You from WrestleMania 25, 24. Undertaker vs. Shawn. The two matches because the ending of Shawn being retired is also a great moment. Uh, the Yes movement at WrestleMania 30, basically Daniel Bryan defeating the odds and actually defying the odds and being the world heavyweight champion. Seth Rollins cashes it in. Trying to see other moments that basically are very important. Uh, Kofi Mania. You could say Braun Strowman and basically McIntyre fine getting the world title, but without getting their first world title in front of no one might not be that great. How about another moment? You know, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks main event in WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin returning WrestleMania 38. The Usos losing the tag titles. Like he didn't have one long reign ended in the tag title scene, but on the other one. How about Cody Rhodes' Adventurous Endgame? And yeah, those are all great WrestleMania moments. And here's my opinion. What if somebody ruined them? What if somebody's weird enough went back to the past and ruined all those moments and trolled you? And I thought that would be a perfect way to do so today. Like, let's have a bit of humor. Let's not take wrestling so seriously for a minute. Let's talk about how to arena moment. And it's where it's a humorous video. Let me know what you think down below. It's supposed to be long. It's just, let's be honest, to entertain myself. So, WrestleMania 3. Oh, by the way, I say it's not gonna be long. Also, me going to post a video is gonna be like 20, 25 minutes on this. Never mind. But let's not jinx it. WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan body slams the Giant. He doesn't miss. It does happen. But Andre decides to no sell, gets immediately up, keeps up, does a big boot, and does his whoopee cushion to win the title on Hogan. Imagine that. Imagine how that felt for the entire audience. So imagine the entire audience being deflated upon seeing that. That's when WrestleMania moment being snuffed out to history because of this. Now you think, okay, cool, but Savage can win the W title next year, right? Wrong. Next year, WrestleMania 4. Soon after DiBiase's arrival, was the only guy to ever win the W title by doing nothing. This first WWE appearance, Andre within milliseconds ends him the title, and it's like he's the only guy in history DiBiase to win the title without doing anything, not wrestling anyone, without even had to wrestling, without having to wrestle anyone for the title right away. So Jackson he still suspend makes it a non-event there because it's like he's gonna strip Andre the title and goes to the WrestleMania main event. Basically, it's gonna be a tournament like in real life. And it goes on pretty much the same way again. It goes to finals. Same thing happens. Except in the finals, DiBiase beats a tired Savage by submission 2 minutes into the match. Hogan decides to come out after the match. And afterwards, Savage is dispatched. He doesn't even do a comeback. It's just Hogan doing a comeback on DiBiase and Andre. And Savage is like not even, it's like he's getting not even a footnote, despite the fact he's a guy who wrestled 3 times prior, whereas DiBiase could have just wrestled once and had two. had two buys in the match. Basically, he'd be the only guy to win a tournament. Teddy DiBiase would having two buys. Gonna basically have Morocco and Bravo basically being basically Bravo and Morocco having a double count, double DQ, and basically DiBiase advanced without doing anything. So yeah, he basically wins the quarterfinal match. He wins the finals. That's it. So yeah, you could base that would deflate the crowd to know the Savage after in 1988 the number of Randy Savage t-shirts that were sold were nearly as big as Hulk Hogan. So the Madness purple t-shirt was sold out like crazy. Imagine just deflating him and having him being beaten in 2 minutes, regardless if he wrestled three other matches there. Imagine that. But you're thinking, okay, Savage might not be the guy. He might turn heel. Might have Warrior. WrestleMania 6, it's a double count out. Or better yet, it's not about double count out. It's Hogan kicking out of basically of the splash, the second splash. And the match is called off because it's supposedly too brutal. Yeah, that's right. A match that's been called off. And it ends with a draw after I don't know how much time. Imagine the Toronto crowd being disheartened by this entire stupid decision. But wait, there's more. Because of that, basically the W title not only surrendered, but is surrendered to maybe somebody who you not expect, maybe a person that shouldn't be world champion. Now, could that be? I don't know. You could give it the title to Sergeant Slaughter basically soon afterwards. You could give it to Dino Bravo, but basically because of this, Hogan and Warrior would not be champion. Imagine doing this. But it's not as bad as I basically ruined WrestleMania 7's emotional moment between Warrior, Savage, Liz, and Sherry. Warrior does beat Savage like in real life, the same great match, same awesome match there is. And Sherry, seeing her meal ticket basically is taken away from her, does attack Savage. And Liz does come out to help to prevent Sherry from further hurting Savage. She pushed her away, just do a weak cat fight. And the thing that's different is when the music of Savage, the pump and circumstance hits, and Savage and Liz embrace, Liz decides to pull out basically anybody against Cody Rhodes tactic and just kicks Macho Man square in the nuts. And she turns heel right there. And afterwards, Sherry comes in the ring and she attacks Randy Macho Man Savage, and Ultimate Warrior begrudgingly. It looks like he comes out for the save. No, he's attacking Savage too. They like all attack him, point at him, laughing at him, and they basically Warrior puts both ladies basically in his arm, and he's a new crown heel. So now have basically the Ultimate Warrior basically with Queen Sherry and Elizabeth in his corner, basically going back for the WWE title against Hulk Hogan, while Savage basically being casted out, kind of a laugh riot afterwards. Imagine doing that to Savage. You deprive them of that emotional moment. You tease the fans and you laugh at Savage and by proxy at the fans because of that. WrestleMania 8, you got two things going to happen. Piper turns fully heel against Bret Hart. Like he tries to, at first doesn't go for the ring bell. He locks on the sleeper hole. Bret Hart basically, counters in his roll-up pin. But during the roll-up pin, Piper lets go and rakes Bret Hart in his eye. And while the referee is distracted, he does hit Bret Hart with the ring bell in 1, 2, 3. And just to be more pissed off, Piper does a heel promo on Superstars. Is pissed off by the result. Basically, is pissed off by the fact of a bad reaction by a crowd, and rather just defend and lose the title to Bret, he just forfeits the title and just leaves. Imagine how bad of a decision it was. Or this time in the main event, Hogan does get powered by my Sid, but unlike in real life, Papa Shango is not late to the party. He's actually too early. He comes to the ring, he runs down the ramp because I can't miss this again. He comes in and basically as Sid decides to do the power bomb and the kneeling power on Hogan. One, two. No, there's not two. Did Hogan kick out? He's going to get a whole cup. Shango went so early, they actually kicked a down Hogan during the pinfall. Hogan no sells a try to Hulk up. The fans think that basically either Shango turned face or Hogan went heel. People are just confused what's happening. The finish is not going on, and they're both brawling. That like nobody knows what's going on, and that's supposed to be Hogan's last match for a while. Imagine that. A lot of brouhaha, and people don't know what is going on. But that's not as bad at WrestleMania 10. You say Bret Hart has his night. He had his night. He lost to Owen, the best opener match of WrestleMania history. And he wins the title against Yoko. There's not no ifs or buts about it. However, Vince McMahon, the moment he wins the title, he takes the microphone and says, somebody from the first WrestleMania would like basically somebody who's been a staple of WrestleMania has decided to meet and challenge Bret Hart, and he has no say to say ifs or buts about it. And he's gonna challenge Bret Hart at WrestleMania for the WWE title, and it's Hulk Hogan because he needs that title, brother. He needs cash in that title, brother. And 1, 2, 3, brother, he wins the title, and it has to happen after Bret Hart is lifted up by his colleagues, and they left the ring. And the moment Hogan wins the title back, you see all the not just Bret being deflated and being angry and saying "not this again," but all his colleagues are just angry that they've been fooled by Vince McMahon. It wouldn't be the first time, but hey, because Bret, you talk about basically the boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels. What if it didn't? What if WrestleMania 12, you have the Iron Man match, and you go like 59 minutes, 59.58 minutes, no falls, except in the last minute, Shawn goes for a top rope dropkick from the top rope, and he gets caught in sharpshooter and withstand at least a minute or two without tapping, which is incredible. But what if 2 seconds before the time limit expires, he taps out, and basically the bell rings. If you have to have a phone, you have to have basically a last fall. I always thought it was ridiculous for anyone in any time limit match when there's 2 seconds left that people would tap. That's how Disco Inferno tapped out to Chris Jericho in a WWE TV title match on Saturday night. But then again, it's Disco Inferno. Any normal person, every non-idiotic wrestler would think, I'll withstand the 2 seconds. I can deal with this. I have a claim afterwards, but 2 seconds you don't. In this case, Shawn would have no claim to this. It'd be stupid and would ruin forever Shawn Michaels. Now, WrestleMania 13, you'd have Stone Cold Steve Austin gets called in sharpshooter. You remember that excellent match, guys, but you remember he never tapped the sharpshooter. Even tried to break out. He actually broke out of the sharpshooter through strength. That's something never did before. It was a spot. That's a spot that means something, guys. It's not basically flying all over the place. That meant something. But imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin, once he's caught in the sharpshooter and there's nowhere for him to go, does a Jerry Lawler and taps out immediately without the hold being fully synced in, without being fully clinched in. Imagine that. You think basically Stone Cold would go on to be the biggest face in history while this? No. While doing this, that booking decision would ruin everything. And talk about ruining more Stone Cold. What about WrestleMania 14? He does win the Rumble and goes to WrestleMania. And Shawn is in the yard, but Shawn retains fair and square. Triple H China does nothing about it. And Undertaker tapes his fist down, tapes his fist harder backstage. Imagine this is a decision that wouldn't just ruin WrestleMania, it might just ruin WWE. And WWE might not be in the state that it is if that stuff happened. Like the future would be planned. Shawn would be champion, but forfeits the title the next day. It doesn't matter if Austin does win the belt afterwards. Like it doesn't mean the same. You choked on the biggest stage of them all. So imagine if it happened. Another thing that could ruin it, WrestleMania 21st. How about JBL and Triple H both retain the title by decisively beating Cena and Batista respectfully. The future never happens, and we're still with JBL and Triple H as heel champions. You're welcome. WrestleMania 24. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Ric Flair does end up getting retired, but Shawn Michaels does it by doing the sharpshooter on Ric Flair, and it ends up being an Orlando screw job. And Gerald ringside says, "Oh no, not again!" Yeah, that's the kind of weird humor, absurd humor that I would like. So yeah. Now you're thinking, okay, Sean benefits again from that. I mean, from that what if video is he always benefiting? He's not gonna benefit against The Undertaker. Wrong. WrestleMania 25. The Undertaker loses by count out. Imagine the streak ended by count out. Like at least if it had to end, at least WrestleMania 30 was like a pinfall. Imagine if it ended by count out. And as a side, I always thought that it would have been funny if somebody teased, like had his face with The Undertaker in a normal match, made sure it's a normal match, and would tease that his partner during the match comes out, hits his own partner directly in front of the referee, and the referee calls for the bell. And for like several minutes, you think the streak ended by DQ, and like you have Teddy Long saying, "No, no, no, player," and basically tells him that the match doesn't count because it was planned there. We basically know this, so it's null and void. The match continues, and Undertaker is so angry by this turn of event, he actually does three tombstones in a row and pins him. You could have done this, but in this case, trying to get counted out, I think would have been pretty lame, and that's why it makes me laugh. WrestleMania 26. Bret continues his downfall, or at least the Bret Hart character continues his downfall, as Vince decisively beats Bret in the sharpshooter when he when Vince locks in the sharpshooter and Broussard calls for the bell. Yeah, it makes me laugh because it's like, first of all, it'd be stupid to even think that, and second of all, it's like, didn't Bret Hart suffer enough? And by the way, during that scenario, that bad scenario show, Bret Hart would say again, "Oh no, not again." Don't worry, I'm nearly finished. WrestleMania 30. We all have Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan followed the system and followed the basic creative yes movement. What if it didn't happen? What if Triple H and Daniel Bryan basically double pin each other, so they're forced to the main event? So in a way, you say, okay, but Triple H in the main event, yeah, to be, of course. But Daniel Bryan's gonna win. Wrong. So Triple H is, I don't know, he gets the running knee in the face or something, and then Daniel Bryan does the running knee to Randy Orton. You think he's gonna win? No, he gets caught in a Batista bomb. Batista delivers Beast Bite finisher, submission finisher on both Daniel Bryan and Orton at the same time. In 1 second into the finisher hold, they already tap out like crazy, and Batista wins the world title. On the same night that the streak ended, by the way. Imagine the riots you would have caused with that decision. And that's the bad. That's not as bad as this. WrestleMania 35. Kofi Kingston does win the title against Daniel Bryan, but immediately afterwards, Brock Lesnar, who just lost the Universal title in the in the opening match of WrestleMania, cashes in his favor and does beat Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds at WrestleMania. At least Kofi in real life at a like 6, 7 months title reign was booked super strong. Imagine if it wasn't even 6, 7, or 8 months, it was actually just 8 seconds, no title reign, and that's his only title reign in history. Imagine that. Imagine that. And not only that, after this, after he beats Kofi Kingston, he squashes Xavier Woods and Biggie just for no reason. And then you have WrestleMania 40. Imagine if after all of this, you still have like Jimmy Uso. You know what? I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna make it even worse. Very worse. It starts off like normally it starts. Does a super kick to Cody Rhodes. Okay, Jay comes out the ring. Jay comes out to try to help Cody Rhodes, but by mistake, he super kicks Cody Rhodes. And basically, Jimmy and Jay both go to the top of the ropes and go to the table. Okay, cool. Then goes on the next one. Like basically, Cody might seem to be on the yard plan when Solo Sikoa appears to ringside, and John Cena comes out the ringside, basically tries to help to help Cody Rhodes, but Solo Sikoa rigged the eyes of John Cena, and John Cena by mistake does an A to Cody Rhodes. Okay. Then afterwards, John Cena does do the attitude adjustment to Solo Sikoa, but Rock comes in, Rock bottoms John Cena like in real life. Then you hear the glass shatter. Yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes in, and he tries ambushing everybody. He takes a steel chair by mistake. He hits Cody Rhodes, and afterwards, he does nail the tombstone. He does nail the Stone Cold Stunner on Rock, but a new mysterious muscle man from the bloodline comes in and attacks Stone Cold. The Undertaker comes in and he choke slams the attacker. He also choke slam Cody for some reason, and it leads to Roman Reigns. Afterwards, everybody's down. Roman Reigns basically hits Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes still have a kind of a little small window of opportunity, but Roman Reigns hit the spear and gets the pin. And for no reason, at Russo, Jay, Jimmy, Seth Rollins for some reason comes back. Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, the Muscle Man, Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena, all of these. They all go back in the ring, they all hug, and all stomp out Cody Rhodes. I want you to think about this. You might say it's big names, but it's like, might as well just say at this moment, Cody Rhodes should never wrestle again if you're going to do this. And you just ruined wrestling and WrestleMania for a long time. So that's my idea. Let me know what you think. Other scenarios, hilarious scenarios. It has to be hilarious scenarios that you would think would make you laugh like crazy. Or you think about this and would imagine it's how stupid it would have been if they did that at WrestleMania. It would have ruined everything. Let me know in the comments down below. Let them be rumors. And let's not forget. Have you ever heard of the healing power of laughter? Now get out of here and take it over. See you later, guys.